Okay, hello everyone. Want to make this video this weekend on AMD and Uber, two recent trades that I took. They both have the same setup, just building their bases and early turn, rounding up the bottom of the base. And there are two trades that I stopped out on both on the first attempt. And I think one of the difficult things is getting back in. And when do you get back in and when you don't? AMD I was able to get back into. Uber I was not. I think I'm going to take the time to kind of go through that. I think it'll be a good educational 20 minutes. I've titled that Stop Outs and Reentry. I've made video a few weeks back on multiple attempts at re-entry, so you probably want to watch that also. I'll link to it at the end of the video. But this is just showing it in real time with recent fresh trades. So AMD back in, Uber not. So let's dive in through the educational piece. Disclaimer, as always, this is not recommendation to buy or sell any securities you see today, just for educational purposes. Do your own due diligence. Let's jump into AMD and then Trading View. This is the let's just kind of go through the basics of how we do things here. So here's your uptrend, and then now you're building the base. You have your 200 MA trending up. So we have confirmed uptrend, and then we have prior move. I've traded AMD here, and I sold the reversal here, but that's not what we're talking about today. This has been on my list, on my universe, pulling back. Just kind of waiting for it to set up. It's obviously a big reversal, so you want to give it some time to absorb that selling and then start rounding up. All the way down here, this is all left side. There's no right side, so there's really no interest in trading any of this. I'm not trying to catch a bottom. I'm trying to catch a low risk entry when this turns back around. Lower low, lower low, lower low, lower low. There's no need for me to attempt anything here. First higher low, first higher high, right? So now the trend showing you potential of changing, and then your 50 MA right here is still downtrending. So too early here. This is just a steep downtrend to be trying to do something here, and you're still getting this selling. So and then your line here on the OBV is not blue, so that means it's still, the up down volume is still less than 1. So in my opinion, still early, still needs a little bit of time. My first attempt at this was here. I posted that on Twitter. So let's see how that setup was looking like and go back in real time and take a look at that setup. Here's what I was seeing, and I was interested. The OBV line is back blue, meaning upside down volume is above 1. You have dry up in volume. RS line still lagging red against the market, but it's something I wanted to get into. The 50 MA, it's starting to turn around, but not yet. You can still see that it's red. You got your first pocket pivot here. Haven't had one in a while. And then you have kind of volume, pockets of volume drying up here, right? It's drying up on this pullback. That's a really big tell. It's not a pullback with a lot of selling. And then you have a strong bar here. And then you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bars inside of this bar, right? That's what that color is telling you. It's kind of a mini squeeze inside of that bar. So we're having volatility contraction. We're having volume contraction. So time to go. Now let's take a look at the risk, right? High of the bar is your trigger. stop below the bar. If you want to be tight, that's 2.6%. Stop below this is 3%. Stop below this is 4.8%. Which stop is right? All of them are. You pick how wide you want to be on your stop and how tight you want to be on your stop. That is personal. You put it here, you put it here, you put it here. That is all acceptable. So what I do, I like to play tight stops and I like to retry when I get knocked out. So my stop was below the bar. So my stop was 1.6, 1.7. Here, let's just zoom in a little bit. Triggers above the high, and then you do your stop. So it was 2.5% or so. Now, we all know that got stopped out, right? So the next day, you get this bar, and I get stopped out. So let's put that stuff on here so you guys can see entry, and then stop out, right? Let's do that different color, my usual colors. All right, so frustrating, of course, yep. All right. Let me see. Yeah. Okay. Yep. We're set. So I continued to watch this, obviously. Continued to be on my radar, and I want to get back in. Opportunity to get back in was right on this day. Let's go back and take a look at how that unfolded. So after I stepped out, you got 5-day pocket pivot, and then the day after, no selling to take us back down. This obviously was a shakeout that I was part of. This shakeout had support, closed in the upper range of the bar, no distribution. That means we had buyers coming in to push it up after this shakeout, the mini shakeout. It's not a large shakeout, mini shakeout on this pullback. And then really, really small bar. I love these with extreme dry out in volume. I'm interested. What's your stop above the high and below it is 1.8%. You want to put it below this bar, 5.7, 5.5%. Which stop is right? Both are right. You pick how wide you want to be on your stops. The only thing you want to be aware of, if you're wide, that means your risk to reward is shrinking. If you're tight, that means your risk to reward is expanding, but you're going to be stopped out a lot often. So you figure out what works for you. I took the trade the next day. The stock gapped up a little bit and I was in. If you look at the stop from the gap from the high of the day before to the low of the day of the gap up, 0.25%. So I got filled in. If I want to be in a stock, I give it as high as 1% stop limit to make sure that I get filled in. So I was filled in right at the open with about, let's take that up, 0.43%. So let's do the risk to reward here to see how this trade played out. And I'm still in it. So we're going to put the entry at the open, and then the stop is below the low of the small bar. And let me just fix that quick and expand that over. And then let's move forward here to see where we're at. Let's exit this mode. And then we are at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Rs. I haven't sold anything. I want to build into AMD. My thinking is that potentially we could have a pullback to this area here, give or take. So we get some type of a pullback back to this level. Whoops, sorry about that. Back to this level, maybe start turning around, and then we'll get that pullback buy. If you've seen my previous videos, I like to kind of do it this way. Here's your uptrend, here's your pullback, and then here's your continuation. We are going to try and buy it, turn it around here. That's my plan on AMD, and that will get me to size up the position. All right. So classic setup, deep pullback inside of the base, turning up. This was a little bit of deeper base down to 37%. I like to keep them 35, 30% deep, but AMD has tremendous growth numbers for next year and the year after. So I think it's a quality stock in the chip AI theme. Let's take a look at Uber. So I'm going to delete this line and I'll leave that stuff. So my re-entry again was here, and my stop was down here. Obviously we didn't get stopped out, so we'll leave that out of the picture. All right, now take a look at Uber, AMD, and then take a look at Uber. How similar do they look? Very similar. So let's go back and forth between the two. Uber, AMD. Uber, AMD. Very similar. Except this side, obviously, because Uber moved out. Let's do Alt F11 here and get, whoops, cancel. F11, there we go. All right, so let's take a look at Uber and determine why I didn't get back into it. I bought Uber here. So this is, again, same thing, right? Prior uptrend. Let's get that out of the way. Interesting. I can't get that out of the way. Let's look at Uber up, and then now it's building the base, turning around, all left side. You don't want to be trading this side. You want to be trading this side, right? And then the 50 turning back up, and then I tried Uber here. So let's put that on here. This is the high, and I got stopped out the day right here. So again, tight stop for me because I like to come back in. I like to have them go right away. If they're not going right away, I'll come back in. So I got to stop that here. And then again, shakeout, right? Looks like a shakeout now, and then it ripped back up. It's setting up here, so we'll see what happens in this coming week, but I don't see an entry yet. Can you buy above this high? Yeah, this is still not really, 2.4%. I just don't like this candle, so I'm not ready to get back in this one and reattempt. So that was the difference really between Uber and AMD. AMD gave me this candle, daily candle. That is a candle I like at the top range. After it stopped me out, set up right away. Uber did not. Okay. Even though Uber has a shallower base, this is only 23 compared to 37. It's really dry, and the volume here drying up. That's why I was interested in this. Lots of volume and dry up. I'm not a fan of OBV and the upside down volume. This is still telling me there's still selling pressure that needs to be worked out from going this way. That's quite a bit of selling. So that's what this is saying. It's reflecting a little bit stronger RS, but hopefully that helps. That's the reason why I did not get back into Uber. I'm still watching it. I would like to get back into Uber, but not yet. I would need a little bit more time. I think you're playing tight stops. You need to be okay getting back in. If you have problems getting back in and buying the stock potentially higher than what you initial entry, then maybe wider stops are better for you. The AMD piece, it got better on the next setup. Let me show you what I mean. And I bought it higher, right? So this is where I bought it previously. And then I bought it 3% higher than my first buy. And this is not an easy thing to do. Your mind, your ego, it's really tough. So you want to be okay, and able to do something like that. But let me show you something back again. This is where the first time we bought it, right? See how the 50 is still downtrending, still red. So it's not really an ideal setup. But then a couple of days after that, it's 1, 2, 3, and 4. What happens now? The setup is even better. You have RS turning blue, and then you have the 50 turning green. Now it's rounding up and starting to uptrend. So, and then you have extreme volume dry up. So this setup here now on the second attempt is a lot better than the first setup. And for me, at this point, I'm used to getting back in. I made the decision to be tight. And when the setup gets better, it doesn't matter if I was stopped out 2 days ago, 3 days ago, I'm going back in. And this is the shakeout, which makes the setup even better. So hopefully that helps. Lots of info, lots of nuggets here for new traders and not very new traders that are trying to trade this style. There's obviously a million ways to trade. This is not the only way. There might be experienced traders trying to learn this new style of trading stocks that were in a previous uptrend and now consolidating, building bases, and you're trying to get the trade while the base is building and round it up on the right side. Hopefully that helped. Thank you. Please spread the word and like and subscribe. Thanks a lot.